welcome back to another episode of 5060 Show. I'm your host, Scoobs, and as you all can tell, I am solo today. Unfortunately, Coach Rosey is out with his voice being gone. If you guys ever coach football, if you ever screamed at the top of your lungs 3 or 4 days a week, then you would clearly understand why, you know, why he's going through this right now. So again, we're going to keep the show rolling. I'm going to do the solo this evening, and we will get Coach Rosey back on here next week. Again, I'm doing a solo. So again, I got to ask myself this question: how was my week? My week is pretty good. Just pretty productive. We actually celebrated Coach Rosey's daughter's birthday party. Happy birthday, Zuri, again. It was a pretty big turnout, huge party, a lot of fun. Kids had a blast. Bounce house, face painting, treats, pizza, cake, all the good fun stuff for the parties, man. But again, pretty good week for me. Just want to keep this going. But anywho, let's move on to our picks from last week. All right, well, here we go, man. Unfortunately, Coach Rosey, he took the dub last week. I mean, our picks were very similar. And if you guys seen the reel, the short, the funny clip that I made up uh, about me picking the Cowboys to win this past week, which I don't know what I was thinking, man. I knew that was not going to happen, man. But Coach Rosey definitely made a very good point that Dak Prescott is going to choke, and that's exactly what he did. But again, you would think coming off a bye week, you would definitely think that, it would have been a better turnout. But again, that's my own fault for thinking there was hope for the Cowboys, period. But clearly I was wrong, man. Clearly I was wrong. Never again. The Chiefs is like the new. I said the Chiefs. The Cowboys is like the new Jets or something, and the Jets are not doing pretty good either as well. Again, congratulations, Rosie. So now he is 4-3-1, and I am currently 3-1. So again, I will be doing my best. I will be doing my homework to catch back up to him, man. I think one of the shocking games was the first pick that me and Rosie picked. We both obviously, I'm pretty sure most of the world picked the Vikings to beat the Rams, but unfortunately, unfortunately the Rams beat the Vikings 30-20. You know, crucial game, man, crucial game. Sam Darnold, man, he still threw for 240 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, I like Aaron Jones. He got 19 carries for about 58 yards. I mean, like I said, it was definitely a pretty good game. Even Justin Jefferson, he got 8 targets for 115 yards. But big ups to the Rams. They held it down. They stayed strong. I'm looking at Stafford's stats. I mean, he threw for 279 yards for 4 touchdowns, only one pick. But again, you know, and again with Puka Nakua coming back, Cooper Cup is back as well. I know they played a huge factor in why this game was, a more of a turnaround than what most people thought. So big hats off to them, man. That I think that just took everyone by surprise. Vikings losing to the Rams this year. It's crazy. Let's see. Packers took care of business. Cardinals won. They beat the Dolphins by 1 point. Um, it definitely was a real timid game, I think, for most of us football fans who are just football fans, period, because I believe this was Tua's first game back, and the Cardinals defense they've been doing pretty decent for the most part, but I think everyone at the end of the day wanted to just come back, have a pretty decent game. And again, they only lost by 1 point, so we're going to see how the Dolphins move forward, this coming week. Jets got lost to the Patriots, kind of not too. I'm not too surprised from that game. I mean, I'm not for sure what's going on with Aaron Rodgers, man. He's just not doing what he's just not being Aaron Rodgers. And again, I don't know if he's just trying to uh go out with the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? He's trying. I honestly, I'm starting to think he only stuck around to play more football because he wanted to join a new team and go to the Super Bowl like Tom Brady did when he went to the Buccaneers, and even like Peyton Manning when he went to the Broncos. So again, it has to be something that Aaron Rodgers is trying to prove, but I don't believe. I mean, again, we still have another half of the season to go, so I mean, who knows what could happen at this point? But it's just not looking good for Aaron Rodgers, man. He got to do better. Another shocking game. I mean, again, with Jameis Winston starting, which again last week he was actually the third string. It's just so weird. But how did the Browns lose to the? Excuse me. How did the Ravens lose to the Browns? Lamar still had a pretty good game. I mean, let's just kind of highlight some stats real quick. Lamar still threw for 289 yards and two touchdowns. Derrick Henry, 11 carries for 73 yards and one touchdown. So again, I mean, and Zay Flowers, man, he definitely helped me get the win this past week in one of my fantasy leagues, man. Zay Flowers got 7 targets for 115 yards. And I know he's coming back from that banged up ankle he had a week or so ago. But again, let's highlight Jameis Winston. This man threw for 334 yards and three touchdowns, no interceptions. So again, man, hey, Jameis Winston did his job. I will say the Ravens have not had the best defense these past I would say this season, period, they have not had the best defense, which Ravens has always been known to have a pretty good defense, you know what I'm saying? And it's good, it's not the best, but hey, whatever. They got the job done. They just didn't get the dub, but whatever. All right, moving on, man. The Ravens. Eagles beat the Bengals, man. Burrow, I don't know what's going on with him. Texans beat the Colts. Moving on, I see that they're they're actually going to and I'm speaking on the Colts, but they're going to have Joe Flacco start for the remainder of the season. They just want Anthony Richardson to sit back and you know, sit back, learn. But again, for those that are paying attention to football, Anthony Richardson had to come out of the game, for a breather. So dude, you're a professional now. You're young. You didn't even play a lot of college football. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. So I know that played a huge factor too. So touche to that to the coach, the head coach for the Colts, because again, I probably would have made the same decision if I was in that same place. You got a veteran quarterback, Joe Flacco. He still puts up pretty good numbers, but I don't know, man. I I I was actually starting to like Anthony Richardson a little bit, but that to me that was just ridiculous. Of course, Cowboys. I don't know what I was thinking. Commander still came on with the win. They had the Hail Mary, and we'll get to that in a minute too. But yeah, so let's get to the Chiefs game. Man, this good old Chiefs game. I know Patrick Mahomes couldn't wait to get to this game as well, man. I mean, with the whole duck comments and things like that. All right, guys. So again, this past Sunday's game, Chiefs versus Raiders. You guys are looking at the stats right now, man. 262 yards, two touchdown passes, and one pick. All right. I mean, again, everyone knows this by now. Mahomes is not making he's not making the best stats. I'm not even for sure how he's doing in fantasy football leagues, but I'm sure more people are more disappointed because again, everyone knows what he's capable of doing. everyone knows he can probably throw over 300 yards a game. I mean, 400 or 500 yards a game, but there has to be something behind why he's not, you know what I'm saying, just really pulling off everything. But again, at the end of the day, they're still winning. And again, us being Chiefs fans, hey, you know, that's all we really want at this point. We just want to win. I know this was a pretty important game for Mahomes. Again, for those that don't know, which is why I see the duck in the corner. Um, During the summer camp or summer practices or whatnot, the Las Vegas Raiders, they pulled out a whole little puppet little duck with the Mahomes jersey on, had the Mahomes hair, curly hair. And again, just making fun of him, trolling. I get it. Hey, do you. Do what you got to do, man. Because again, now Mahomes has got the last laugh, with the dub 27-20. Travis Kelce, I want to say this was his first touchdown this season, which is kind of crazy. But, again, we're doing what we got to do to win. Xavier Worthy, you can tell he's getting back in the rhythm. Again, a lot of people have been kind of banged up, but you know, I just think we're just trying to play it smart. We're trying to play it safe and get to the Super Bowl. This was also DeAndre Hopkins' first game with the Chiefs. He recorded 2 receptions for 29 yards. Again, we'll take it. We will take it. That's the at this point, everyone's getting in the rhythm. And I'm just looking at the stats. I mean, I like it because everyone is eating. You even got Carson Steele, which I'm sure was probably a screen pass, but even Carson Steele got 1 reception for 8 yards. So you got the fullback eating. So again, man, good job to the Chiefs, man. We got another dub, only undefeated team in the NFL right now, still currently. So big hats off to them. Again, I know this was a huge game for Mahomes and a lot of other Chiefs fans because again, they wanted to make fun of Mr. Mahomes, saying he's Kermit the Frog, he sound like a duck, looked like a duck. So who got the last laugh now? I believe we do play the Chiefs again, and I want to say on Christmas Day. I had to kind of double check that fact, but we will be seeing the Raiders again pretty soon, like in less than a month. So, man, we'll see you guys.
Get them top. Regret I have from yesterday is just letting this team down from working hard and coming back and putting ourselves in a W column, and just for me to be out of place and do something that's out of character of me and just cost us a loss. Get them chopping.
Yeah. So you guys see it, man. This gentleman, this is this week's Get 'em Chopping, man. Number 29 for the Chicago Bears, Tyreek Stevenson, man.
Get them chopping.
I will say this first, me being a man and things like that. I'll start out by giving him just some credit. You know what I'm saying? Some NFL players in this particular moment that he's having right now, they probably would have had an attitude. They probably would have been talking crazy to the reporters and whoever podcasters, whoever else is interviewing him or asking him these crazy questions. Because everyone is asking him the same question. Yeah, did you think the game was over? Blah blah blah. So anyway, I do want to applaud him for taking accountability and to keeping his composure, man. Because a lot of shit, a lot of these NFL fans for any team, man, they really will take it the wrong way. He might be getting threats, he might be getting anything, but again, I like the fact that he manned up, stepped to the camera because again, they have to really. But again, I just like he didn't give too much of an attitude. You look at his face. Look at his face. Like you could tell he's just mad and upset about it. But it's a game. It's a regular season game. There's nothing you can do about it. At this point. So but Stevenson, you still got to get him chopping.
Get him chopping.
Now, one thing that I wanted to highlight, and of course, Rosie would have been saying some of the same things too, but again, you have to play until the whistle. You have to play until the last play. You know what I'm saying? Until the end of the game, at the end of the day, until the whistle is blown. But again, I just think that was very bad on his part, on his point. Um, him being a huge time cornerback from, I looked up a little bit of his stats. He actually went to Georgia and he actually went to the Miami Hurricanes too as well. So, it's like I know that they're probably ashamed, and I know he would never do anything like this for those playing for either one of those college teams. But again, I know this is just going to hunt him until they play the Washington Commanders again. So, you know, uh, this was definitely a good lesson for all athletes, all sports, whatever you playing. Play until the very last play, and play until the whistle is blown. Whatever sport you playing, it's different. It's different rules for different sports, but obviously we're talking about football. So again, stay humble. You have to stay focused, man. And again, for those that are going to look at this video, and those that might not even know, um Jaden Daniels actually threw a Hail Mary pass, right? While Tyree Stevenson was distracted, talking to fans. He said he was celebrating with some Chicago Bears fans, but to me it looked like he was talking trash to the Commanders fans. But anyway, I just think that was just first off unprofessional, but I get it. You having fun, you thinking it's the end of the game, but it's not. But again, Jaden Daniels threw a Hail Mary pass, right? By the time Tyree Stevenson realized, okay, wow, oh, this play is still going on, and they're back here in the end zone. Tyree Stevenson actually is the one who tipped the ball to the guy who was the only person open down there by himself behind everybody. So not only was he distracted by the fans and talking trash and thinking that the game is over, but even when he got in the play, when the ball was coming down, he's actually the one that tipped the ball into the wide receiver's hands. So which caused the Washington Commanders to win the game. So again, man, big ups to the Washington Commanders playing to the last play. Um, I just think that is just so unprofessional. Um, I know we were talking about it a couple days ago. Somebody was saying, "Do you think they should bench him?" No, no. And while I was looking up some stats as well, it also shows that he was actually one of the top. He was the number one tackler in that game. I think he recorded the most tackles that game, I believe so. So, you know, no, like mistakes happen. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they can fine you. I don't think they can, when your performance is like that. Now, yes, if he continues to do this, you know what I'm saying, and his cameras all over there. If he continues doing this, I can definitely see them benching him, but just moving forward, I mean, this is the professional leagues. You got kids that are just watching you, man. You got people that are really looking up to you. He's a big time football guy, period. So he just has to do a better job and understand that kids are watching you, upcoming athletes are watching him, and you have to do better than that, man. So Tyreek Stevenson, you got to get him chopped.
Get him chopping.
Seriously, that's crazy. Now moving forward, we got into some college games that we wanted you all to watch, or whatnot, but I just want to highlight some of them. So again, the Alabama game versus Mizzou, bad game, man. Alabama definitely gave them a good old fashioned dried up donut. I mean, it was horrible. 34-0. Whew, Mizzou, we got to do better, man. We definitely got to do better. Um, Alabama is still, I'm sure they're still ranked pretty low, but we just got to do better in that Mizzou. Point blank, period. The second game that we wanted to highlight that we wanted you guys to watch was that Vanderbilt versus Texas game. That game actually came pretty close, but again, Texas, man, they overcame, they overpowered them as well. Um, Only thing I didn't like besides Texas beating Vanderbilt, the one thing that I did not like was Vanderbilt was down by 10 points, definitely in the fourth quarter, midway through the fourth quarter. Me personally, I just don't think that Vanderbilt just had the 2 minute old going fast enough, you know what I'm saying, at a fast pace in order to overcome a 10 point, you know, they were down by 10 points. So I just think that, just moving forward, I know this is going to beat all of those coaches up, but they really just got to do a better job at practices and practicing the tempo. You know what I'm saying? Get into that ball. We got to understand, you know what I'm saying? We're down by 10. Hey, a lot of things got to take place. Now, yes, they did score in the fourth later in the fourth quarter, which um ended them with, down by 3 points. But again, they tried to do the onside kick. That didn't work. Boom, game over. So I just think moving forward, man, Vanderbilt just they got to do a better job, at pushing that ball, at a faster pace. And the third game that we wanted to highlight was that Oregon versus Illinois game. I mean, there's nothing really to say. Oregon, they're number one right now. You know what I'm saying? They just outplay Illinois. Final score 38-9. Man, it actually was a pretty decent game, but again, Oregon's number one. They're definitely going to remain number one. Uh, Texas is right there. I mean, it's a few teams that are right there, but you know, nah, nah. Illinois didn't have a chance, but it was a pretty good game if you watched it. All right. Now, this coming weekend, a few games to watch on our count, for week 10 for college football is the number 3 Penn State versus the number 4 Ohio State. That I'm probably going to be watching that game. That's going to be that might be the best game out of all of these options, actually. The second game that you guys should check out is that number 11 Clemson versus Louisville. Clemson, I'm really loving them. They've just been doing their thing, destroying people. They're just slowly sneaking up. They're trying to stay they're trying to stay in the top 12. You know what I'm saying, to get a chance. So I just like what's going on right now with Clemson, and it should be a pretty good victory. Moving on, the third game is the number 10 Texas A&M woo, versus South Carolina. Now, this should be a nice little dog fight. I highlight this game and because Texas A&M, they've been handling business. You know what I'm saying? Again, another team that's really trying to stick in here and get to that championship. I wanted to highlight this game, but I mean, Michigan, I don't even know their record right now, but they're just not, they're horrible this year. They got lot of young athletes. I understand that. But man, this week they're playing Oregon. They're playing number one Oregon. So I would not be surprised if this is Oregon versus Michigan is probably going to end up being probably roughly, I would say like probably 50 plus points. I'll give Michigan maybe 10 points, So let's just say 55 to 10. 55 to 10 is my prediction for that game. Nice boring game, but hey, hey, young talent though. I will say that Michigan is going to be pretty good in the future, but this is not their year at all, man. They're doing very bad. Like probably the worst Michigan team I've probably seen in a long time. All right, man. So let's get to these week 9 picks. I'm looking at me and Rosie's picks. I mean, you guys can tell we're about hand in hand a lot of similar teams, a lot of similar picks. But hey, we can start with number five. I'm going with the Browns this week, and he's going with the Chargers. Chargers are doing pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I just like the performance that James Winston gave. I talked about his numbers earlier in this episode. I mean, he's putting up some big numbers, you know what I'm saying? And I truly believe, whatever his motivation is, he's definitely been a highlight. He's been on the cameras quite a bit since Deshaun Watson's injury or whatnot, but he's definitely trying to hold this team, he's taking advantage of he's probably going to be the starter for the remainder of the season. But again, he keeps doing stuff like this. He's going to be in a very good spot. And maybe in the future, hey, maybe they end up actually giving him a real contract, but who knows? I doubt it. I doubt it. Let's see. Both Patriots, Falcons, Bengals, Ravens, Cardinals. Okay, here we go. The Bears, the Cardinals. I'm choosing the Bears because again, I still believe that for one, I like the Bears defense, even though I just clowned their top tackler last week, Tyreek Stevenson. But uh, I think this is really going to have him motivated to, redeem himself, redeem himself for the fans too, because that was a ridiculous performance, man. I mean, we don't have to get into too much of it, but you have people that really put their money on the line for some of these games, and you got your kids watching, you got young athletes watching too. So anyway, Bears. I'm going with the Bears. Cardinals just still doing pretty good. And, Kyler Murray, he's doing all right. Got Marvin Harrison Jr. still snatching stuff. So we'll see how that goes. See number 12. I chose the Rams, and Rosie chose the Seahawks. That is not a bad pick. It's not. This should be a pretty good game. Again, if you guys remember last week, the Rams actually beat the Vikings. I just think with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp, and it's actually a couple more injuries that are coming back. So, um, you know, Stafford's numbers have not been looking the best at all, but I believe it's about to be a turnaround for the Rams. I'm not saying they're going to the playoffs or anything, but I just think this should be a pretty good game versus the Seahawks. We see what Geno Smith has been doing, man. His numbers are looking way better than Mahomes. His numbers looking better than a lot of other quarterbacks in the league right now. But nope, I'm gonna go with the Rams. I'm gonna go with the Rams, man. Another reason why I'm going with the Rams because the Seahawks defense, they are still allowing a lot of points. So it's kind of weird. Should be a pretty tough game. Might be a nice little shootout. Who knows? Especially if Metcalf is coming back. Because I know Metcalf is also suffering from a little injury as well. So yeah, Vikings, yep, Lions, Chiefs. So again, man, you guys are seeing this pick. It's probably going to come down to those two games next week because those are the only two games I believe so that we have different. But again, just tune in, comment, let us know who we might have chose wrong, or hey, even update us on some injuries that we might not know about and that we probably should choose the other team. But for now, these are my picks. And again, I really like them, man. Good luck to us both, though. All right, guys. So we reached the end of this episode. Again, prayers out to Rosie. Hope he feels better, and we will see him next week. But again, thank you all for tuning in to the 5060 show, where we always gonna keep it 110%. Again, I'm Scoobs. You all have a good one, and we'll see you at the next episode. I'm out.